Alrighty, guys, we're up to 30 questions. I love it. Again, thumbs up helps us get up to more people. YouTube, Facebook, Periscope. Let's get on in to these wide receiver rankings. I think Hopkins, number one. It's against the Jags. There's no one there that can cover him. They're giving up a ton of points, third most points to wide receivers. Sure, I understand. He's behind Rondale Moore in terms of receiving yards, in terms of targets. He's third, actually, on targets in this team. But Jacksonville, we've seen him pulverize them throughout his career as the Texans. I think this will continue against a very bad Jacksonville team. But maybe I'm a little ambitious here at number one, given that low target share, given what we saw from Adams on Monday Night Football. He could be in for a little bit of bump here. San Fran's been pretty good against wide receivers, if I'm not mistaken. They are, let's look here, 49ers, 29th. So fourth fewest points to wide receivers compared to Jags, who are 13th, so more middle of the pack than I expected. Diggs facing Washington. I feel like Washington's been sneaky generous football team after being, seventh most points to wide receivers. So Diggs, as I said, really think this is a great spot for Allen, for Diggs as a contrarian potential DraftKings play. I really like that. Tyreek Hill at 4, am I psycho to rank someone so explosive that could be ready for another 40-point outburst there? Maybe. What I'm wondering, Cooper Kupp at 5. Now, is that plus 6 ECR? Am I nuts? Leads the NFL in 36% target share. They're truly going to need every drop they can get out of Kupp, out of Woods this weekend against Tampa Bay. I'm all about it. I think Cooper Kupp is an absolute stud. I'm not trying to sell high at all. Lockett as well, leading the NFL in fantasy points right now among wide receivers. Started hot last year, did taper off, but this seems much more sustainable. It's what Bob Condotta, when he came on the show, said he could see Lockett getting a bit more steady volume here this year. Keenan Allen against Kansas City, they're going to need points. They're going to need their target magnet. Not much else to say there. DK, just a little bit lower on than ECR. Risky, given how generous Minnesota is to wide receivers, giving up these second most points. Wow. Lockett and him are going to have a fucking day. Just insanity there. So big day coming for DK. Maybe I'm a little too low here. But he's just been playing that second fiddle, drawing attention while Lockett just goes and explodes. Meanwhile, Jefferson, that's a pretty more congested than years past. Now that Osborne has emerged there, seeing 19% target share in back-to-back weeks. That's kind of made those steady values of Jefferson and Thielen a little bit more rocky, even though both of them are still seeing a ton of looks. Still should be great. I do think A.J. Brown rebounds big, as you can see, +2 ECR. I have him above Calvin Ridley, who I have at 11. Bradbury's going to be on him. That didn't matter for Terry McLaurin, who roasted this team, but I don't know. That Matt Ryan-led offense is just atrocious. Cooper thinks he's in for a big rebound game. I've always been a big Cooper fan. Him and CD, you can't really go wrong, but I am a little lower on Dak, hence why I'm a little lower on CD. I can't expect both of them to go nuts if they're just going to throw 35 and be a routine type of offense. Allen Robinson, could he rebound big with Justin Fields? Absolutely. In fact, I'm banking on it at +1 ECR. But Deebo Samuel, I'm surprised I'm higher than the ECR. Guys, leading the league in receiving yards. I think he's been a top 7 receiver in back-to-back weeks and half. 3 and, I guess last week, 29, he didn't find the end zone. But still, air yards is much higher than years past. He's just been getting it done. So 15 against Green Bay, who Quintez Cephas, whoever, was tearing to shreds. The Green Bay secondary is absolutely atrocious. They give up 5 freaking touchdowns to Jameis Winston, who we just saw. This defense can get bombed week in and week out. Love Thielen, red zone monster. Seattle, not a good secondary. Game need points. DJ Moore, 26% target share with Sam Darnold, his number one receiver when he's not checking it down, at least, to Christian McCaffrey. Big fan of DJ Moore. McLaurin, you saw the upside and downside of raking him with a shutdown corner is he just went for 11 and a 120. I was definitely getting too cute, but I also think Tre'Davious White in Buffalo, much tougher matchup than New York. So still a little skeptical, but man, does he have a good rapport with Taylor Heinicke. And then you got Julio Jones, coming off that big 100-yard day. He could, he was a touchdown away in week 1 from being only 4 fantasy points. Should have double digits in both weeks, but he's going to be boom or bust with that team. I am a little bit nervous still. Long, big body there. Godwin, I don't know what to make of these receivers. Now, if Antonio Brown's out, we'll have to adjust to something to track with the COVID. Deontay Johnson, the last I saw was it's not great, but it's better than they expected. Looking better per Tomlin, so that's the same exact report. if he's out there, I mean, only him and Cooper Kupp have seen 30% or more targets in back-to-back games. He is their alpha since he's not good against receivers, but he's ranked a little bit lower for me right now. I guess +4 ECR, but a little bit lower in the sense of where I normally would have him, which is right in this top 15 because of the injury concerns. And Mike Evans, huge rebound, but he's going to get the Ramsey treatment. This, for whatever reason, the gut feels like a shy away type of Evans day. Cortland Sutton, I mean, 35% target share, led the league in week 2 yardage. Not much else to say. Teddy Bridgewater was thought to be a bad fit for him. He was just chucking it up and letting this guy go do his thing. All about it. Sterling Shepard, meanwhile, at Atlanta, I mean, the guy has seen 18-plus PPR points in 4 straight weeks dating back to last year. 10 or more targets in 3 of those 4 games, no less than 9. And now he gets Atlanta. I mean, what else needs to be said? I don't know why it's so bold of me to be +6 ECR on this absolute target hog in a beautiful matchup here against the Falcons team, giving up the 10th most points to wide receivers. Definitely in on him. Marquis Brown is top 10 in fantasy right now, fantasy points. I can't believe it myself, but he is just getting it done week in and week out. Look at these back-to-back games. Scoring both of them. 20 and 16, 8 wide receiver, 18 wide receiver, 8. He's the wide receiver 10 in total fantasy points right now. Monster. He's looking every bit as explosive as they were projecting. Jamar Chase, speaking of explosive, Pittsburgh gets this notion of this unstoppable defense. They're giving the 9th most points to wide receivers, even more than Atlanta right now. Chase should be able to get it done, as should Brandon Cooks, even with the quarterback change. If he didn't have the QB change, that'd be significantly higher. But still caught a touchdown from Davis Mills. Carolina's not the most ferocious secondaries. They did beef it up. I think they're down in the 27th. So, I mean, they have been playing well. But Cooks has also seen 50% of his team's targets last week. The guy is just the definition of a vacuum, as you can see. 16 and 18 fantasy points to start the year, 14 and 7 targets. He's just getting it done and getting it done quite well. This could be a big rebound spot for Robert Woods. As you can see, a little bit lower than the ECR on him. Just given he's been around 70% of the snaps, the usage is significantly down from years past. A little worried on him, but Devonta Smith against Dallas, I might even bump him down a little bit more because I think he's going to get the Diggs treatment, and that's been a tough matchup in back-to-back weeks for the opposing wide receivers. T. Higgins, assuming he's healthy, I think I need to bump up a little bit more here. Touchdown in back-to-back weeks. Pittsburgh, like I said, not as scary as they seem. And Antonio Brown, the COVID issues going on there, he might need to bump down these rankings. Pittman, +7 ECR. Big on this guy this week. Nobody's given up more points to wide receivers than Tennessee. I don't think it will matter who his QB is. 12 targets, 8 catches against Jalen Ramsey for over 120 yards last week. Beautiful. Claypool, you know what you're getting. Boom or bust. Not into him. I've been lower on him every week so far this year, and it's going to continue to be that way. I think I might even keep bumping up Odell Beckham. But Marvin Jones, the clear alpha for this Jaguars team. Saw 11 targets last week, 9 the week before, 16 and 15 fantasy points, been top 21 all those weeks. He's just getting it done, and they're going to need somebody to get it done against Arizona. Certainly would rather have him than a Robbie Anderson. Just average depth of target 21. I kind of like that, except for the fact that he's seeing 3 targets a game. So low percentage looks, deep shot or bust type of guy that looking like this year, whereas DJ Moore's kind of taken over. Juju, unexciting. Again, him and Claypool will get bumps up if Deontay's out, but as of right now, I don't love him. I do think Davis can rebound. I know the Broncos have a solid secondary, but they're a little bit overrated here. 17th most points to wide receivers, so pretty middle of the pack. This guy got it. He had a huge week before disappearing. I could see him rebounding, maybe not to the huge numbers, but right in the middle there. Tim Patrick just gets it done. 12 or more fantasy points back-to-back weeks, and pretty much every time he started last year, he was right around that load. So wide receiver 40, you got to love the guy coming in. Then you're looking at, some potential blowups. Love Mooney as one. Cleveland could get beat deep. Justin Fields can sling deep. Love that stack. Got DraftKings 52 for Fields, 43 for Mooney. Beautiful stack there. Tons of upside, as is Christian Kirk against the Jags. Pascal, though, my stream of the week, only 16% rostered right now. Has a touchdown and 7 touchdowns in his last 6 games. Just a scoring beast, and now gets the team giving up the most points to wide receivers. Think he absolutely finds the end zone, especially if Wentz plays, but maybe even if not. Down on Galladay, as you can see, minus 12 ECR. Down on Waddle with Will Fuller back. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, especially with freaking Jacoby Brissett. I don't think anybody's going to be viable with Jacoby Brissett this weekend. Do think Sammy Watkins could get some juice going. Ruggs had the best day of his professional career. I got to bump Patterson up a little bit and some of these other upside guys. I'm already plus 23 on Patterson, but he's got such a good high involvement role. Again, more points than Ridley so far this year. Insanity. And you can play him at wide receiver, at least on Yahoo. You're looking at just kind of ugly stuff, but I will highlight Osborne and Cephas as guys that were under 10% owned entering the week. In fact, under 5% owned entering the week. They're right around 10% now. Two guys that could absolutely blow up in their matchups this weekend. So really enjoyed those guys' streams. And other than that, it gets pretty ugly here. So we will continue forward. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments. Check out some more videos and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.